Fellow soil enthusiasts, let me share something that completely transformed my composting game. Last spring, I was drowning in Amazon boxes like most of us, and instead of breaking them down for recycling, I decided to experiment. What happened next blew my mind and will change how you think about cardboard forever. I'm talking about turning plain cardboard into rich, dark compost in just 6 to 8 weeks instead of the usual 6 months. Yes, you read that right. This isn't clickbait, this is the real deal. And I'm about to walk you through exactly how I did it and why it works so incredibly well. Here's what most gardeners don't realize. Cardboard is essentially pre-processed wood fiber that's already been broken down mechanically. When you add it to your compost pile, you're not starting from scratch like you would with branches or logs. The cellulose fibers are already separated and ready for microbial action. But here's the kicker. Cardboard has the perfect carbon-to-nitrogen ratio when combined correctly. It's considered a brown material, meaning it's high in carbon, which is exactly what your nitrogen-rich green materials like kitchen scraps and grass clippings need to create that magical composting balance. What makes cardboard even better than traditional brown materials like dry leaves or paper is its structure. Those corrugated layers create air pockets that promote aerobic decomposition, while the flat surfaces provide massive surface area for beneficial microorganisms to colonize. After years of traditional composting, I stumbled onto this method almost by accident. I had a pile of cardboard boxes, and instead of my usual approach, I tried something different. I soaked the cardboard pieces in water for 24 hours before adding them to my compost bin. This pre-soaking step is absolutely crucial, and here's why. Dry cardboard can actually slow down your compost because it draws moisture away from other materials. But when you pre-soak it, the cardboard becomes a moisture reservoir that gradually releases water to keep your pile at the optimal 50 to 60% moisture level. I tore the soaked cardboard into roughly hand-sized pieces, not too small that they'd turn to mush, but not so large that they'd create impermeable layers. Then I layered them with my kitchen scraps, grass clippings, and a handful of finished compost as an inoculant. The transformation was incredible. Within 2 weeks I could see the cardboard breaking down visibly. By week 4 it was barely recognizable, and by week 6 I had rich, dark compost that looked and smelled like forest floor. What's happening here is fascinating from a microbiological standpoint. Cardboard provides an ideal habitat for both bacteria and fungi, the two powerhouses of decomposition. The bacteria work on breaking down the simpler compounds, while fungi send out their hyphal networks to decompose the more complex cellulose and lignin structures. The corrugated structure creates perfect microenvironments with varying oxygen levels. The air pockets support aerobic bacteria that work quickly and don't produce odors, while the denser areas allow for some anaerobic activity that helps break down tougher materials. Temperature plays a huge role too. My cardboard-enhanced pile consistently reached 140 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit in the center, hot enough to kill pathogens and weed seeds while creating ideal conditions for thermophilic bacteria that work incredibly fast. Now, before you rush out and dump every box in your compost, let me save you from the mistakes I made early on. Not all cardboard is created equal. Stick to plain, brown, corrugated cardboard. Avoid anything with glossy printing, plastic tape, or metallic inks. Those pizza boxes? Skip them. The grease creates anaerobic pockets that smell terrible. Size matters more than you think. Pieces that are too large create mat-like layers that shed water and create anaerobic zones. Too small, and they turn into a soggy mess that can go anaerobic quickly. That hand-sized sweet spot gives you the best balance of surface area and structure. The biggest mistake I see gardeners make is not managing moisture properly. Cardboard can hold a lot of water, but it can also dry out your pile if you're not careful. I learned to squeeze test my compost regularly. It should feel like a wrung-out sponge. To really supercharge this method, I've developed a few advanced techniques that push the speed even further. First, I add a nitrogen booster, either coffee grounds from my local cafe or a handful of blood meal. This kicks the microbial activity into overdrive. I also found that chopping or shredding the cardboard after soaking speeds things up dramatically. A simple box cutter works, but if you have access to a shredder, even better. The increased surface area means faster decomposition. Temperature management is crucial for speed. I insulate my pile with straw or leaves to maintain those high temperatures longer. In winter, I'll even wrap it with an old tarp to keep the heat in. Turning frequency makes a huge difference too. Instead of the traditional once-a-week turning, I turn my cardboard compost every 3 to 4 days for the first month. Yes, it's more work, but the results are worth it. Here's where things get really exciting. Once I mastered the basic cardboard composting technique, I started experimenting with variations. I tried layering different types of cardboard-thin Amazon boxes mixed with thicker appliance boxes created even better airflow. I also discovered that adding cardboard to worm bins creates incredible results. The worms absolutely love the pre-decomposed cardboard, and it helps maintain proper moisture and airflow in the bin. My worm castings production doubled when I started adding soaked, torn cardboard regularly. For those dealing with clay soil, this cardboard compost is gold. The fungi that break down the cardboard create lasting soil structure improvements that persist long after the compost is incorporated. I've seen compacted clay transform into friable, well-draining soil in just one season. Beyond the gardening benefits, this method has completely changed how I think about waste. Instead of seeing cardboard as recycling bound for the truck, I see it as a valuable resource for my garden. The average household generates enough cardboard to significantly boost their compost production. This approach also reduces the need for store-bought compost amendments. I used to spend hundreds of dollars annually on bagged compost and soil conditioners. Now I'm creating superior compost at home using materials I used to throw away. This cardboard composting hack has revolutionized not just my garden but my entire approach to soil building. The speed, the quality, and the environmental benefits make this an absolute game changer for any serious gardener. Ready to transform your composting game? Try this method and let me know your results in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to Soil Sensei for more breakthrough gardening techniques, and share this with fellow gardeners who are tired of waiting months for finished compost. Your soil and your plants will thank you.